This FM 104.3. Good to meet Atik.
You know, they also made the point there. Central Bank of printi sika gumu mankrofo chesika no ene emi tan kra ne say they say sika ni bi na e dey amasisi da pan no dey akosen na. Someone can you imagine this? Somebody actually. Ato Forson said it.
Oh, really?
I'm not kidding, Chairman. I'm not even joking.
No,
you can play back his speech.
No, wait a minute here.
Chairman, Ato Forson guy.
Or today?
Or since you can Central Bank gumu no enu bi na e dey amasisi da pan no dey akosen na. Can you imagine this? And that this forms a basis. Call for the resignation of the governor. Where would you say ye?
And I'm afraid say Gbeshi was there.
Gbeshi,
no, Chairman. That spirit we need to cast it out from this country.
We will have to call lawyer Ni Aikwe Utu.
In fact, to summon that spirit.
To summon the spirit to the Supreme Court.
Yes, and order it to disappear.
From
Chairman,
I see. Maintain.
Oh, okay. Chairman, you can't printing of money now. They made it look as if said Central Bank had the machine see her. How much just boom the marby. That's not how it works. We see you can't printing of money. We are simply talking about Central Bank financing of government. Inti and Canino, there were no limits as to how much Central Bank beat me this ama buying. Inti Nas Bank to me lend this kama abang beyond a certain level. But you say idea it creates inflationary pressures and other effects. Until the Mrabi by say you can't. The central bank cannot finance government beyond 10% of the previous year's revenue. And later it was reviewed to 5%.
Yeah.
Until financing of government, is what they refer to as the printing of money, And yes, the machine is here. You see, they made it sound as if say the central bank is doing what Zimbabwe did. Say they can't pay workers until yenche can name from Kutuya. Yentimin and Tonkunya Sikanabra and Fangotu. Once you do that, you create idea every hyperinflation.
Yeah.
Who could try do one city says here in the next 1 hour I bet 2 cities because of such situation. But that's not what we are doing now. Nyeke is just support of the central bank to government. That is what they are referring to as the position of
train. Ato Forson,
yeah,
or a chartered accountant, or a PhD in finance,
okay,
or a former deputy finance minister, yes, or a former board member, Bank of Ghana.
Yes.
Are you saying you are working or no name?
Chairman, I'm unable to speak to that.
No, I'm asking you because Sabi Oshe Ato Forson, Nijina Bia. He's not a small person sitting down. So, Kakaya Maboy, he's in a position of knowledge and experience. And you can't tell me, say, you know better than him, and answer what you're saying he doesn't know.
Chairman, I'm unable to speak to that. Because Nyawake, so if he says, and he said it publicly, Chairman, until Sabi
say this kind of Adapa.
I say, yes, can be, and no idea man or their question.
Oh, if they are no Gbeshi
the most popular name in Ghana.
You see, this impression, say, ye Jessica Gumuno, or you use the way ye Chegum, what does that mean? Chairman, ye Jessica Guma, and say, Central Bank will not have a negative equity position. Because if they have the capacity to Jessica Guma, some going to Jessica to up their assets. But because Sano, until Bank of Ghana can have a negative equity position. What is here? Near Bank of Ghana, say when they reviewed the threshold of financing to government, beyond the 5%, which is allowable by law.
But say, Amuko Parliament too.
And I mean, Bank of Ghana Act now, Section 30, subsection 6 tells you, say, in emergency situations, the Bank of Ghana has the opportunity to review that threshold upward. And the condition now, the condition precedent, it has to be a function of a negotiation amongst the central bank, the Ministry of Finance, and the Controller and Accountant General. And the job of the central bank, one person reviewing upward, and it's a free meeting amongst these 3 institutions and decide on the level and on the rate. And it's increasing 10%, 15%, whatever. There has to be a meeting. Meeting it is the Minister for Finance who then reports to Parliament, say there has been an upward review of the threshold no, because of this emergency situation. And yes, Central Bank Juma to go and report to Parliament. And the Onukra is one bono say Ada na wamba Parliament for approval. They are in fact Mranan Enka say when they do the review, they should come to Parliament for approval. The Mranan say after the review, the Minister for Finance should report to Parliament. It does not say should report to Parliament for approval. There be in any event, any Central Bank for a report, it is the Minister for Finance. And if they have reviewed it as is permissible under the law, now Omodi Sikanoma buying to solve a certain problem. Other than Omodi Subono say no or print Sikagum to create the impression say Sika machine be why a trace Sikanune a charm crofo and a Sicilian Tapania and Afimudian or the question and passing. Now beyond that, no, so I've also heard all the arguments say Central Bank the negative winner losses now in care, you know. You see, they are confusing debt, say, with the losses. So, Omako Boka, Chese Omako Bob Kabia, Yambo Bida, as if say they did a risky investment in a Kaba. And yes, sanity, what they did, they say, and German, who kind the Bank of Ghana Act, it tells you, say, one of the obligations of the bank, they said they ought to contribute to economic development. That's one of the objects. Now, Chairman, you can economic development now. And you say Bank of Ghana, Eti Omo baby, now Minister for Finance and Minister of Finance, with the threat say ya or mine be a sick semono, a begu. Now Omako Tron baby say India we are autonomous yen young hushi. Yes, Anna, you are even betraying the very provisions of the act that sets you up. Now, baby, yesika sem kodru yen na na ejitum se na nkoyi. And that's why we even sought the intervention of IMF in the first place. But IMF forecast say, look, baby, I'm way even to grant you a program, a bedding, a samutimi bafom kakra, so we can meet you halfway. And Ninina was the debt situation na yekan huasemano. And one of the ways to help was to buy non-marketable bonds. Now Ministry for Finance was floating, and Mika COVID relief bonds no, omutoye, and these are not bonds you can trade in the secondary markets. Until omutoye no, when the DDP, the domestic debt exchange program no, just like everybody else, Central Bank bought the bonds, and these are not bonds they could trade anywhere else. If you bet you I can say we can sell our bonds to another private person and a third party. Well, then let the person take the risk. They couldn't. And it affected them too, and it resulted in losses. And now affecting equity position, no. And losses now, and sometimes when you accumulate losses, it affects your equity position. It results in negative equity position. And now Central Bank in case our losses no. Now,
Atik Banapo,
and if they've incurred these losses, and yes, Sebi, Chairman, they intentionally went to do some investment bond buying of the bonds, was to solve a certain problem. Omanya, Anka Chairman, yet ya kasi, Minya Shosanka would even have the peace to do this discussion, because Sri Lanka, Oman Timino, it resulted in a revolution.
Yeah.
But Central Bank, Eka said, we have enough buffers. I say, you and it's almost sorry, preoccupy. Minister for Finance is saying, say, until they will sell to us or more COVID relief bonds in Tiamkoto. They looked at more buffers. When I'm saying, look, you're towe kra na, at least, Bibiba, we are resilient enough to recover. What is here? And they had a conversation with even IMF. And the IMF gave them the assurance, say, our analysis of your buffers, no, and say, muto bonds now, the bank will not be badly affected. And the DDP in the buy, nobody anticipated it. But the bank is saying, say, even though we've incurred losses, and this is not the first time the Central Bank has incurred losses. So I said, yes, this is not the first time.
This FM 104.3, good to meet